Donald, why won't they help you?
No one is coming.
They're leaving you out in the cold.
You have no one.
Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis say they're out of the race.
They dragged you publicly.
But they keep winning votes in the primaries.
Without even trying.
Votes you wanted. Votes you deserve.
You built this movement.
Their voters just don't like you.
Are they embarrassed by you?
More than 20% say anybody but Donald.
Sounds like your dad.
Does it hurt your feelings?
Of course it does.
The tick, tick, tick.
Shouldn't you stop them?
As the disgraced, twice impeached, 4 times indicted ex-president.
Of course you should.
They're counting on you being too weak.
You are.
Too tired.
You are.
Too old.
The sun is setting.
The old Trump would have punished them.
Where is Teflon Don?
But that's not you anymore, is it?
It's all coming to an end.
Oh my God, that was brutal.
That was the creepiest voice I've ever heard in a political.
I know that
ad in my
whisper.
life.
That does. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Got a good show lined up for you guys. This show's gonna be all about Trump because we have some. We have some special episodes lined up where we're gonna have a bunch of guests, Gen Z voters. We have abortion activists coming on. So
CRT
we're gonna get it all
expert.
over. CRT experts, absolutely. We're gonna get all the Trump out of our system right now. So today we're gonna be covering Donald Trump has a new dance that we have dubbed face dicking, which we'll show you that here in a second. The only thing failing faster than Truth Social stock is Trump's ability to complete a thought. His first criminal trial has started. And he holds some rallies in Pennsylvania where he makes a complete ass of himself. So
a typical day in Trump's life. Think about that.
Right. And this is all new stuff. This is like not even stuff that we've had to search for. This is just stuff that's happened within the last few days.
Yeah.
Oh, this stuff writes itself. So, all right, we're going to start with Truth Social. Not having a good time. Donald Trump has lost, I don't know, like $6 billion worth in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I keep hearing it went to a high of like 79, but the highest I ever saw was like 67.
It was probably up there for like 2 seconds and someone screenshotted it just so they could prove it.
Right, exactly. So anyway, we have a tweet from a gentleman on Twitter who thought he owned the libs by posting this. So let me go. This is what is this guy's name? Mike Crispy. On March 26th. I liquidated my entire portfolio and put it into DJT stock. You didn't? Stay poor, liberals. All right,
Mr. Crispy is definitely soggy now.
Yeah, so if he bought it on March 27th, it was $66. It is currently today at 4 p.m. down to $22.84.
22.
It is going down. I mean, they're even saying that this could possibly go all the way to zero.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the fine, inner workings of the stock market. I know enough to watch a lot of people that understand it. And just from looking at things reasonably, a lot of experts that, aren't paid by Trump think this thing could completely tank way sooner than people realize. I mean, didn't they just inflate the stock on Monday? They announced right before the market opened, they announced that they were going to add millions more, stocks available, which just deflates the value of it immediately. So this is almost like becoming obviously a way for Trump to buy stock so he could dump it quick to make money, only he doesn't have money and it's not working because the stock is dumping.
Exactly. Yeah. And even today, yesterday, Wired Magazine put out an article with the headline, Donald Trump poses a unique threat to Truth Social. Says Truth Social. That's not good when your own company is saying this guy's toxic, bro. What's going on? All right, new SEC filing details all the ways that Trump media thinks Donald Trump himself could be a major risk to his own company. That is funny. I'm sorry, but that's
not what you want to hear. Like the king of all business, right? I mean, we all know his real estate empire was a farce, but The Art of the Deal, Mr. Businessman, You're Fired, right? The Apprentice. The guy's a danger to his own company days after it goes public.
And how could you possibly go wrong with posts like this? Oh, this is what Donald Trump posts, okay? Former president of the United States rage posting like a tween, like a pissed off teenager. I want my voice back. This crooked judge has gagged me. Unconstitutional. The other side can talk about me, but I'm not allowed to talk about them. Rigged trial. You're talking at that moment. Like it keeps saying I'm gagged as he's typing.
It's funny because obviously he always just talks to his supporters. He thinks he's gaining support. He has no idea his support is drying up, but you could tell in his language, the way he yells about things. I'm being gagged. No one's being gagged. Can you imagine they're gagging me? Well, a gag order is a legal option for a judge when you're acting like an asshole. So the fact that he's saying it is telling you he feels he's above the law. He's telling you, how could they gag me? It's not fair. He's lying about all this. Everything happening to him is happening justly, and we'll see what happens during the course of the trial. None of this is fake. None of this is a farce, except for him. That's it.
Exactly, everything. And he's the maker of his own demise, really. Now, of course, he went into a complete panic when the stock started to melt down. And people started to realize how just much of a farce this whole DJT stock is, this Trump media stock. So yeah, Trump tries to boost support for Truth Social as the stock tanks. So what did he do? Donald Trump urged his followers to support social media app Truth Social as his parents' company tries to decline. If people who believe in putting America first and want to make America great again support truth, all capital letters, of course. That's stock manipulation. That is actually a crime. So I hope the SEC is paying attention. And he's being treated like a normal person. He's not above the law. You keep saying there's a two-tier justice system, but let's be honest. He's the beneficiary of that two-tier.
Yeah, the irony is that there is a two-tier justice system, but it's for rich people and like poor. But at the same time, they're not like getting treated so badly that an entire generations of people are being incarcerated, because the real inequity is between the justice system for black people and white people, or poor people and people with money. If you notice who aligns up and who usually gets away with it. So when Donald Trump, a rich white guy, is whining and moaning that he's being held to the same standards as the rest of the population, he's very grumpy. He's so grumpy.
He's such a I mean, the whole justice system was designed to help people like him. Is the whole point?
Yeah, it's working perfectly.
Rich white people. That's exactly who the justice system in America was designed to help. Rich white people. Everybody else is fucked pretty much, unless you can afford a good lawyer. So, all right. Going back to the gag thing, Donald Trump posted this also on Truth Social. See, another thing that he does is he'll make like 14, 15 videos and post them back to back to back to back to back. Like I said, like an angry teenager.
The same video.
All right, this is him just trying to defend the case for why he shouldn't be gagged, and he just ends up repeating himself over and over again like a maniac. Watch this.
Recently informed that another corrupt New York judge, Juan Merchan, gagged me. That's gagged like you can't talk. Gagged me
as you're talking
to a case that everyone, including the DA, felt should never have been brought. Plenty of people have gagged me recently because when I talk in New York, I explain to the people and they understand these cases are all rigged. It sounds fair, doesn't it, to be gagged, but it's not. It virtually never happens. It only happens to me because I'm able to tell people what's happening. And those people get extremely angry with what's happening. This judge should be recused, and the case should be thrown out.
No idea.
He's totally conflicted. There's never been a judge more conflicted than this one. There has virtually never been anything like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I don't think he knows what virtually means.
How many times did he say gagged? Like,
yeah, but he said so. He releases that on Shit Social. Every 3 hours. But then when he shows up to his trial in the morning, he says the same thing. And then when he storms out at the end of the day, this is the second day, he says the same thing. It's almost like he has nothing to say. His brain is pudding, and he's just repeating a bunch of thoughts that drive him crazy. Think about it. He's just giving you an out loud summation of what's going on in his head. That's it. He's just ranting.
Right. There's no filter. It's basically whatever his brain says.
Oh, it's a filter, but it never got cleaned.
No, not exactly. No, it's definitely a dirty filter. All right. What do we want to do next? All right. You know what? Let's take. All right. This next post is from Twitter. This next video. All right. So this video was posted by a guy named Chicago Ray. We've talked about him on the show before. Big Trump supporter. He's the guy that made the video about truckers should boycott New York when Donald Trump lost his.
That's great for the working guys. Don't work.
Yeah, give up your salary for a guy who's never given you a penny ever. So he posts this video with this music. I couldn't use the music for our show because of copyright reasons. So I added my own music. And the video just looks like it's exactly how it sounds. He's face dicking. Watch. That's his dance move. He's literally going
face dick, face dick, face dick, face dick.
That is Donald Trump's one and only fan.
So what I'm trying to imagine is if this is how he dances on the grand stage running for president for the whole world to see. Yeah. Is that how he danced at his wedding? Is that how he plans on dancing at Barron's graduate? Oh, he's not going to that.
Right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I can't believe he played the victim card after coming out of his criminal trial.
You know what's a victim?
My son's graduation.
He makes white people look worse dancing.
He does. He does. He really
he brings us now I know why we suck. It's because he exists and he has just brought the curve all the way down for us.
He really does. And he's united all of the ridiculous bigots in this country under the banner of stupidity. I don't know how else to put it. But yeah, moving on from that. So let's get into Donald Trump's criminal stuff. He's got his first criminal trial going on, and he is not handling it well. No, apparently it's not very exciting because according to reports inside the courtroom, do I have that one? I do have that. Yeah. Trump, this is from Maggie Haberman, who was inside the courtroom. Trump appears to be sleeping. His head keeps dropping down and his mouth goes slack. I even heard reports that he would jump himself awake, scared.
You know what's really funny? It's
oh shit.
It's so absurd at this point, and it's not like it's just us saying this. Everyone knows now everything out of his mouth is projection, but yet again, Sleepy Joe is really Snoozy Don or whatever people are calling him. Don Snorleone.
Don Snorleone.
That's my that ends the internet. Shut the internet down for the day.
Dude, so far Donald Trump has had a couple cool hashtags on social media. Don Porleone was good when he lost his fraud trial. Now we're up to Don Snorleone.
Snorleone, that's
let's see if we can keep it going. All right, so we have a video of him arriving to court yesterday, and of course he acts like a big tough guy. And then I'm going to play the video after he leaves. Timid little kitten, right? You could tell he just had his ass handed.
And you know what? I want to say before we go into it too deep, it feels good that for the first time, as worried as we've all been to see how a criminal trial would go with him,
yeah,
the judge smacked him right in the mouth. Right in the mouth.
Really did.
And we'll explain why.
Yeah, there was a couple times he actually yelled. Well, yeah, you have that. Well, I'm not going to get into it yet. So let me play the video of him arriving at court. And Mike actually has some of the jury questions that were asked in court. I probably would have been kicked out because there's a couple of them. I would be like, no.
Well, I even have something to say about that, about people that have already been recused.
Understand, they're not looking for people that do or do not support Trump. They're looking for people that can make a decision based on facts, not loyalty to somebody or hatred for somebody.
Which already reared its head as it should the first day. So we'll get into that.
Because everybody knows who Trump is. Everybody knows what he did. So there's no such thing as somebody that's not. I mean, some people stay away from politics, but it's almost hard to now because they made everything political.
The irony is what he's fighting against is the right of a citizenry to hold its own citizens accountable where the crimes took place. Donald Trump already lost the hearing to try and move the trial to Staten Island, where he won the 2016 election. Maybe, I don't remember what else, but he won that area in a huge margin. So he was trying to say that in New York City, where he did business, and he was this great media mogul, and he was this great, real estate guy, he can't get a fair trial in the place where he had his glorious, perfect business for 30 years because he can't. I think about that. That's where we're at. Well, that was kicked down, and they started jury selection Monday. So after we watch these videos, we're going to get into what that's like.
Definitely. Yeah. So I'll play this video, just him trying to be tough when he walks in. He just ends up making an ass of himself, accusing Joe Biden of being involved in his case involving paying off an adult film actress. I'm sure Joe Biden has nothing better to do than to get involved in this case. It's like the dumbest shit ever. But who? I want to meet the people that believe this. Like, they have to be complete simpletons.
Are you going to lose voters if there's a conviction?
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar says this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America. And that's why I'm very proud to be here. This is an assault on our country. And it's a country that's failing.
Oh my God.
It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is.
This is an assault on America. Holding you liable because you had a 3-second affair with a porn star and then paid her off and then covered it up as legal expenses. God. Like, I mean, that's an assault on America. You can't get real. Who does this guy think he is? Like, this guy must think he's King Trump.
Oh my God!
Around Mar-a-Lago. I'm surprised he doesn't wear a crown while he walks around Mar-a-Lago.
Well, we know officially something that you've been saying for a long time is he officially has someone on his payroll that walks around and wipes his ass like a king used to. What I mean by that is someone actually carries around a wireless printer and prints out good news for him from the internet to make him feel better about himself.
We've reported on that before. That Donald Trump pays people just to walk around and tell him how great he is. Like, he puts people on his payroll. So I hope everybody's okay with their donation money going to stuff like that. I heard a report today. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I heard a report today that the RNC has made a new deal that like 84% of every dollar.
Yeah, something like that.
84 cents of every dollar goes to Donald Trump. It's going to leave nothing for any other candidates that are running in November. Nothing. Not a penny.
It's accurate that he's paying someone to make him feel good about himself because he is now currently embroiled in a criminal trial about paying off someone in the porn industry. And on his staff currently, he pays a fluffer. So that makes sense.
Technically. Yeah, a mental fluffer. All right, so let's go over some of the jury questions that we have because jury selection did begin.
Okay, so I actually recently had to go in for jury duty in Brooklyn. It was for federal court. So I hadn't been in a long time, so that I got to see what the process is like. And it is so streamlined and actually quite interesting. I mean, no one wants to be there, but they got this down. The first day you go, they basically, I'll show you. They have a questionnaire that you fill out. It has some instructions, some history about the trial. I'll actually read one of them. And then it proceeds with questions. There's standard questions, who you are, what you work for, what you do, all that type of stuff. But then for each trial, they get very specific. So I want to start with the document, the beginning, this is when they get the questionnaire. This is the first page of the questionnaire. Courts 1, People versus Donald Trump case summary. The defendant, Donald Trump, is charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Bear with me. It's not that long, but let me get through it. It's interesting. The allegations are in substance that Donald Trump falsified business records to conceal an agreement with others to unlawfully influence the 2016 presidential election.
There it is.
Specifically, it is alleged that Donald Trump made or caused false business records to hide the true nature of payments made to Michael Cohen, who's already been convicted for doing this, by characterizing them as payment for legal services rendered pursuant to a retainer agreement. The people allege that, in fact, the payments were intended to reimburse Michael Cohen for money he paid to Stephanie Clifford, also known as Stormy Daniels, in the weeks before the presidential election to prevent her from publicly revealing details about a past sexual encounter with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty and denies the allegations.
Of course he does. Because it's a witch hunt, like you said.
So when Donald Trump tells you it's a witch hunt, like Jeremy is saying, it's not. It's telling you what it is. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has nothing to do with the election. It's not election interference because you committed a crime and now you're paying for it. That's a crime.
I like to highlight the part, though, that I think a lot of people keep brushing over, that this is not a hush money trial. This is an election interference trial. Because this could have lost Donald Trump the election. He paid her off, so nobody found out about it.
That a candidate slept with a porn star while his wife was pregnant with the son who he can't go to the graduation to.
No, actually, she was Barron was actually 4 months old when Donald Trump had Stormy Daniels.
My apologies. He couldn't wait. 5 months. 4 months is the limit.
Right. So he wants to go. He's making a big deal out of going to this kid's graduation. He was barely there for the kids. I'd be surprised if he was in the same room.
Are you kidding me? That would be beneath someone like him. He doesn't see a need for
I guarantee he's never changed a diaper, taken the kid hunting, fishing, camping,
touched them, hugged them, loved them, told them nice things, read them a story.
The only person in that family that I see less than Melania is Donald Trump. You do not see that kid ever unless they're taking pictures of him. You never see them together in a video at Mar-a-Lago. They're not together. So I don't want to hear this about, my son's graduation.
So
Donald Trump I'm sorry, I'm ranting.
No, do it, right?
He has 5 kids. 4 of them have graduated high school. Guess how many he's been to? 0. He has not gone to any of his kids' high school graduations. All right, let's get into the jury questionnaires before I keep going.
You're allowed. So I just put a highlight. Like I said, most of the ones in the beginning, they just kind of general stuff. Are you competent? Could you read? And let me tell you, I've heard people try and get out of juries by going to the front office there and going, hey, I can't read. And they're like, and then they call them out on it and everyone smiles. And then they go sit back down and fill out So that's not the interesting stuff. This to me is the interesting stuff. Which of the following publications, cable and or network programs, or online media such as websites, blogs, or social media platforms do you visit, read, or watch? Read aloud, meaning you're supposed to tell this one when you're asked about it. New York Times, USA Today, Huffington Post, Google, Facebook, X. They actually have to put X. You're an embarrassing company if you have to put X. Wall Street Journal, New York Post, Yahoo, Truth Social. I do not follow the news. Everyone knows that's a lie to an extent, and I wouldn't trust anyone that doesn't follow the news personally. But, okay. What else do we got? This one's a little long, but it's interesting. Have you, a relative, or a close friend ever worked or volunteered for a Trump presidential campaign, the Trump presidential administration, or any other political entity affiliated with Mr. Trump? The reason they're asking this question, and I'm going to flip away for a moment, it is known because people are talking about it in the MAGA community to try and stack the jury with MAGAs to throw the case. Yeah. If they're not already being investigated, they are being investigated. You don't get to say that you're going to stack a case in a criminal trial and get away with it. So the reason What was that?
Oh, Long Island. Is that where it's not Long Island? I'm sorry.
It's in Manhattan.
Where
but
he's
still.
at, Manhattan. Yeah, Manhattan is predominantly Democrat, like by a large margin. So the chances of them stacking the jury is almost next to impossible.
But this is why they have to read out the
what
questions.
They're saying. Yeah.
So, have you ever attended a rally or campaign event for Donald Trump? Are you signed up for, have you ever signed up for, subscribed to, or followed any newsletter or email list rev run by or on behalf of Mr. Trump, blah, blah, blah. So you get the point about all that. Here's some other stuff. Have you ever considered yourself a supporter of or belong to any of the following? The QAnon movement, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Boogaloo Boys, or Antifa. Now, you might say to yourself, that breaks up the whole thing, because those of us who have functional brains understand that there is no such thing as Antifa. Right. They made that up to refer to people who are anti-fascist and criticizing Trump. They tried to make that like that's a hate group.
Right. It's not a group. It's a trick question.
Meanwhile,
Antifa is not a group. There's no dues. There's no membership.
I'm gonna take back a little bit. There is one group of people that is 100% Antifa. And those are the people that landed on the beach in Normandy on D-Day. So when you're Antifa and when you're against Antifa, you're against people who actually fought fascists. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, being anti-fascist is a philosophy. It's not a freaking group you join.
So, do you have any strong opinions or firmly held beliefs about whether a former president may be criminally charged in state court? Do you have any feeling or opinions about how Mr. Trump is being treated? Can you give us your assurance that you will decide this case solely on the evidence you see and hear in this courtroom and the law as the judge gives it? How about this one? Do you have any strong opinions or firmly held beliefs about former President Donald Trump, or the fact that he is a current candidate for president, that would interfere with your ability to be a fair and impartial juror? I have one more, and then I'm going to tell you why these are the most important questions. Do you have any opinions about the legal limits governing political contributions? Whoa. Can you just that tells you what evidence they're going to be presenting, by the way, because that has not come up anywhere. Can you promise to set aside anything you may have heard or read about this case and render your verdict based solely on the evidence presented in this courtroom and the law as given to you by the judge? The reason these are important, other than the obvious, is because at the end of day one, they already dismissed 50 jurors that self-identified as not being able to be fair. So I want to tell you something. Even the shitty people occasionally have a break of morality, especially when you are in a courthouse under oath, because when you sit before you even take those questionnaires, you are sworn in as a juror, as a potential juror. So the minute you put your ass in that chair and open up that questionnaire, you are under oath. And guess what? Even shitty people have a conscience and aren't willing to break their oaths. The oath like the one Donald Trump says he doesn't have to hold when he's the president.
Yeah, exactly.
So the reason that's important is 50 people were already dismissed. And some people are going to report, because I've already seen it, oh, this is a big hiccup, 50 people. No. The jury selection process is working as it should, because both parties, the defense and the prosecution, work on the questions. That's what the first half of that packet I held up is. It's the agreed upon legal bullshit that explains how they're going to proceed with jury selection. So all the questions are agreed upon. In fact, the judge reviews the questions and axes some of them himself or herself, in this case of him, and may add questions. So they're going to find the assholes. Some of them are going to leave on their own. And if anyone tries to pull shenanigans, they're going to end up in prison for a very long time. So at the end of day one, what we learned is jury selection is going exactly how it should. That's all you can expect.
And Donald Trump can't stay awake. It's so exciting.
He cannot stay awake.
They must have forgot to feed him a stimulants that morning. Anyway. All right, so this is him leaving the courthouse, and then we'll go ahead and get into some of the rallies he had in Pennsylvania, because this shit is hilarious. Like it's comedy gold. It really writes itself.
Yep.
We just find the videos and post them.
Just messengers.
Right, just the messenger. So this is him playing victim. Remember how tough he was when he went in? This was a just witch hunt. This never should have happened. Blah, blah, blah. All legal scholars. Well, this is him leaving. I need to go to my son's graduation.
We had some amazing things happen today. As you know, my son is graduating from high school, and it looks like the judge will not let me go to the graduation of my son, who's worked very, very hard. He's a great student. I'm very proud of the fact that he did so well. And was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there. It looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial. If you read all of the legal pundits, all of the legal scholars today, there's not one that I see that said this is a case that should be brought or tried. It's a scam. It's a political witch hunt. It continues. It continues forever.
Like,
I forgot I put those in there, man. I'm so sorry. That shit caught me off guard.
I actually was thinking about it, and I'm like, the only way that I could pay attention, because we've shown 3 of his different little press conferences or whatever, and you can't differentiate between them. They're identical. So the fart noises are the only thing keeping me from falling asleep. I mean, if I was in a trial for my freedom, I'd pretty well be able to stay awake. Not everyone can.
He probably is shitting his pants, literally, though.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there was a rumor. I can't verify it. I think it was from a parody count saying that he farted really loud in the courtroom. So I'm waiting for that to be verified.
Oh, God.
So I apologize. I was having a little fun last night when I was editing these videos, and I forgot to put fart noises in there. Okay. That woke me up a little bit. That was hilarious. All right, so we have 2 more slides, I think, to go over about court. What else do we have going on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, basically, prosecution was always on top of everything they should have been. And, basically, the minute they got into court, it was all about what Trump had already done to break the gag order.
Right.
So the first day, the Trump basically just yelled at him the whole time. All right. So, I mean, when I tell you that he yelled at him, he literally smacked him in the mouth. Judge Merchan warned Trump, and this is from the Midas Touch, that although he has a right to be present for his trial, he will be removed from the courtroom if he disrupts the proceedings and put in jail. He also warned that if he fails to appear, a warrant will be issued for his arrest.
Oh, please do. Please do. That would just make my day.
Then, at the end of it, we find out that on April 24th, we're going to have that hearing to find out if the judge holds Donald Trump in contempt. And during that hearing, the prosecution is planning on presenting all of Donald Trump's Truth Social posts.
Yep.
Where he's bashing everyone.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. He digs his hole, and then he gets in it, and then he complains that he's in a hole.
I'm making a prediction. April 25th is when the Donald Trump stock zeroes out, because after those truth tweets or whatever are entered into evidence against a former president.
Oh. And you know what I thought about this? He can't file for bankruptcy right now.
Nope.
He can't. It's
his
only
it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but he can't, though, because if he does, then nobody's going to see him as this great businessman. Truth Social would go under. Literally everything would fall apart, and he would just be a joke. I mean, he is a joke, but the ball and gag order. Jerome, I always say the joke that Donald Trump should be get used to being gagged if he's going to be going to prison, because I'm sure he's going to be gagged a lot while he's in prison. Okay, enough talking about that. Sorry, it's a bad joke, but I love
so much.
Yeah, so much going on there. So that's all we have for Donald Trump's trial. So let's get into his rallies in Pennsylvania, because some of these are just hilarious. First, I want to show a clip. This is Right Side Broadcasting Network. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. And just listen to how pathetic this is. They are just look at this crowd.
They should
energy. It looks so fake and so phony.
They should make lollipops with a big boner on it, shaped like Trump, and them just lick it on camera, because that's exactly what they're doing. There's nothing they say of substance. They're just blowing hot smoke up each other and up Trump. That's it.
Yeah, watch this.
You take all of this in, you go, my goodness, this many people? I remember when Scott, that was with us a couple weeks ago, it was the first rally he had ever been to. And he says, my goodness, this many people show up to, I'm like, yes, this many people show up to a rally. This many people are upset about the direction of our country, and this many people support President Trump.
Yes, and we give you a feel for it when we're here the best we can and show you the crowds and talk to the people and show you the lines, but it's that energy you feel. You get this renewed energy, like there is hope for America. And so I want you to know that. Take that message here with you today, that there is hope. And when you come out here to these events and you feel that energy, people are ready for November. They're ready for change. They're ready for President Trump to serve another 4 years in office. As they chant USA, we'll take a listen in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get.
They're giving away nickels.
3 people. 3 people.
They're giving away nickels.
I know, right? 3 people were chanting USA, and they're like, listen to this crowd chant USA. It's like 3, and they're not even saying it at the same time. It's like, USA, USA. Okay, all right. And, oh my God, we're getting too many comments. I can't keep up with them all. Oh, that's harsh, but I like it.
I'm going to take that one off, but I approve it.
It's dark, and we approve. All right. So anyway, this is one of Donald Trump's videos not videos, but this is from one of his rallies in Pennsylvania, where he talks about how his cases, him going to his trial, somehow is him defending all of America's freedoms. Okay, let's go.
World, but when I walk into that courtroom, I know I will have the love of 200 million Americans behind me, and I will be fighting for the. That's right. And I will be fighting for the freedom of 325 million Americans.
That's kind of him. That's so nice.
Delusional. 200 million people. Donald Trump thinks 200 million, 2/3 of America supports them. Are you high?
So, I'm trying to figure out the diaper math.
It's
200 million people voted for him, because 200 million people did not vote in the last election. So I assume if he was confronted with that, which no one would ever have the balls to actually directly question him, he would just probably, if he could make the connection, say something like, oh yeah, like another 30 million votes were just lost. The Democrats stole 30 million votes, right? Because that's how his brain works. He makes up a number that's statistically impossible. I don't even know that there's 200 million people registered to vote in the United States.
I forgot to tell you earlier, we were right 100% on the other day's show about this. They're going to start a conspiracy, and they're going to spread it like wildfire that illegal immigrants are voting in the United States elections.
Yep.
I forget what they said. I think they said in the last 20 years, they found less than 100 occurrences of this happening.
Yes.
Because it's illegal. There's already a law saying that illegal migrants can't vote. But they're going to make another one?
Well, in his other speech, he said, right, Joe Biden could close the border at any time because I did. Number one, you didn't. Number two, you can't, because you'd have to declare some sort of state of frickin' emergency. And there isn't, because what you say is not reality. So I don't know what they're trying to do here, but it's ridiculous. They're trying to say that we're being inundated. And like, there's a video, I don't know if I sent it to you. You might actually have it, where some woman's talking about how, like, well, they're already in the phones waiting, and as soon as the Biden wins, they're going to send all the illegals out to your houses. What are they talking about? They believe that the Democrats are bringing in illegal aliens to offset the vote of the 300 million people that are going to vote for Trump.
Yeah,
you realize how dumb you have to be to believe any part of that? Come on.
But they know their supporters are not going to fact check any of this. That's why we have the problem we have today, is because these people are just blindly listening to all this. Isn't it the Constitution of federal election? You must be a citizen. Absolutely.
Yes. That's literally how it works.
Ridiculous. But they're going to feed their people. There's going to be another insurrection, everybody. There's going to be more violence. Like, just be mentally prepared for this. That's what they're setting up.
It's going to be smaller than I think we think, but it is going to be there, and I think it's going to get squashed very quickly as long as the assholes that are in our government and in our law enforcement that support this monster don't get clever and think that this is going to work out for them. That's my only fear.
And I'm going to say this, and I may get backlash for saying this, but if you guys do this again, I hope you get put down fucking hard. That's all.
Well, to be fair, all they have to wait a minute. All they have to do is comply. Just comply.
Exactly.
Right, like Ashley Babbitt,
but I think
complied.
Right. There's going to be political violence, though, because there are idiots out there. And Donald Trump's calling out to him. He had a post on Truth Social where he's like, how many judges do I have to endure before somebody steps in?
Yep.
That's almost verbatim is what he posted.
I keep saying he's getting to the point because he's so incapable of... He's always been too impulsive for anyone's own good. Someone who grows up like him and is demented like him has no impulse control. Obviously, you can see it every day. But he's a brain dead lunatic now. So I don't think, even if he ever before had the sense to not step over the line, that he's even capable of not stepping over the line. If in his brain, that moment, that day, he feels so desperate because he's starting to feel it. You don't know if that's the day where he's going to be like, I need someone to kill someone. Like, I know people want to pretend that's not a reality. How close to that reality do we have to get before you think it's a possible reality?
We got close, man. His buddy Roger Stone is on audio. Well, Roger Stone was on recording talking about the hit on congressman.
Good point.
I mean, that's you know what I mean? So that we're dangerously close to that. And I hope it doesn't happen. And I hope these guys are all full of shit and they wise up somehow. I don't think they're going to, but if they wise up and realize that they're just being scammed, you're going to lose your life or your freedom for people that could give two shits about you. If you lost your house tomorrow, if you lost everything you had tomorrow because you bet on Truth Social, do you think anybody from the Trump family or their bubble is going to come to save you or help you? No, not in a million freaking years.
Nope. They'll come to step on your corpse so they can get one more leg up. That's
exactly. All right. So I have to play this funny ass video of Trump. This is making its rounds on the internet, and it is comedy. I laughed so hard when I first found this video. I'm like, my stomach hurt. This is Donald Trump trying to explain the Battle of Gettysburg to Pennsylvanians. I'm just going to play it because I'm going to laugh hysterically the entire time.
Where our Union was saved by the immortal heroes at Gettysburg. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable... I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. And the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor. Did you ever notice that? No longer in favor. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow. That was a big mistake. He lost his great general, and they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late.
Never fight uphill. Don't spit your drink.
Sorry. I go to Gettysburg to look and to watch. Look at what? Watch what? There's no active battle going on, so why are you going to Gettysburg to look and watch?
I have like the world's worst memory. As much as I love history, which is an entire concept of memorization, I'm terrible at it. So while I don't know most of the details, even the ones I should know about Gettysburg, you don't describe the biggest loss of American life in the history of the world and call it beautiful. Like, you don't do that. And you don't babble. He's not even capable of it because he cares so little about America, American history, people's lives. All right, this is a person who I guarantee you, oh wait, he has said that he thinks basically everyone who serves is a sucker, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to go to the funeral, the cemetery at Normandy because it was raining.
Yeah, well, you couldn't mess up his hair.
So whenever Donald Trump even talks about something to do with American history, especially militarily, someone who's not even a military person, it makes my skin crawl because of the sheer disrespect he shows everyone that considers themselves an American. So to just say call Gettysburg beautiful and then up me hills me, but he's just rambling about nonsense.
I love how he's like, never fight uphill, me boys. They were fighting uphill. Like, you had to actually clarify that they were fighting uphill. It's so dumb. The thing that makes me laugh about this whole thing is like Donald Trump is like that big dumb kid you used to have in school. I'm not talking dumb, like I'm just talking like he just wasn't all there. Okay.
Yeah.
That had, and nobody bothered him because he was a real big kid. But this is like that big kid that doesn't do his homework and had to be asked to give a book report on Gettysburg in front of the class and just stood up in front of the class and just started making shit up. Never fight uphill, me boys, he said. Oh my God, this is too funny. My stomach hurts.
Oh my God.
So it continues. There's more. I feel like Mike Lindell, but wait, there's more.
But wait, oh no, there's no more for Mike Lindell.
That's right. Yeah.
No.
Actually, there was an ad on one of our videos where everything is 80% off.
Really? Oh, I'm so proud of that. Oh man, I know that has nothing to do with us, but I wear that with pride.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is a montage I made of all kinds of different gaffes and weird shit that Trump has been saying in the last week and a half. So let me play this real quick. This is good.
I don't think he says a whole sentence the whole video.
No.
Under Biden, U.S. Steel is being think of this. United States Steel Company, one of the great companies of the world 50 years ago, is being sold to Japan. Congratulations, Japan. Is it crazy? Really? Just this week, it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening.
Letitia Jones, peekaboo, I call her. Peekaboo, peekaboo.
They want windmills.
To Letitia.
As a citizen, I demand that Joe Biden close the border immediately. Close it. They want all sorts of things that are going to destroy our country. Close the border, Joe. You can do it. He doesn't need Congress. You know, as president, I never had Congress tell me to close the border. I closed the border. On day one, I will terminate Crooked Joe's insane electric vehicle mandate. God.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
You know what? I have to point out a few things. All right, so apparently we have a big U.S. SEAL company, like SEALs, which makes sense because Donald Trump's always doing this. He kind of looks like a performing SEAL. All he's missing is a little ball on his nose, and it's perfect.
Face.
Yep, face sticking. So all right, and then we have illegal adlithins coming into the country, which I'm not sure what adlithin is. Letitia Jones, which is Letitia James, obviously, and I think the last one was funny about he wants to, because Elon Musk just is up Trump's asshole. You know what I mean? He actually went to Mar-a-Lago, claims they didn't talk about the campaign contributions and whatnot.
Please.
Donald Trump wants to get rid of electric vehicles. You dumbass. Elon, hello.
To be fair, the way Elon Musk is running that company, he wants to be done with electric vehicles too.
I think electric vehicles want to be done with Elon.
They're like, we're not with him.
We are
all right. We're not weird like that.
He didn't invent us. We don't claim that asshole.
No. I came on my own. He's just standing next to me.
Yeah, he just bought the idea like he does everything else. So full of gaffes. The guy can't complete a sentence. As soon as he starts going off script, it's an absolute disaster. So we have a couple other things I want to talk about before we get off the air here. Because we're going to end on a positive note with some stuff that Biden is doing. But before I do, we've showed this video before. We're going to show it again for educational purposes only.
And we're never going to stop showing it.
We're not showing this to show hate symbols or stuff like that, okay? It's not about that. This is educational. Donald Trump, and the reason I'm showing this is because Donald Trump mentioned that he wants to hold a rally in Madison Square Garden. Well, his father may have attended.
Do you think
a
that was
Trump
like
rally.
do you think that was like a quote signal, like in some way? I don't know. He's not that smart.
What if Donald Trump's father was at this rally? Anyway, there was a rally at Madison Square Garden before that could be called a Trump rally, only it was in 1939. America. Okay, this is not Germany, not any other country. This is 1939, United States, New York City, Madison Square Garden, a pro-Nazi rally full of Americans listening to propaganda. Watch.
Listen to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I demand that our government shall be returned to the American people who founded it. If you ask what we are actively fighting for under our charter, first, a social, just, white, Gentile, ruled United States. Second, Gentile-controlled labor union, free from Jewish Moscow-directed domination.
Just absorb the whole George Washington, swastikas, and the national anthem at the same time. Take it all in for a second. That happened. That happened less than 100 years ago in New York City, and it can happen again. It's actually happening right now. They're just called Trump rallies. Sorry, it's what you guys are. Not going to call you directly, but the similarities are glaring, obviously.
If the jackboot fits.
Yeah, exactly. So just, I know a lot of people don't like seeing stuff like that, but it's important. Like, we show stuff like this that's uncomfortable. We show stuff that you will not see on the news. But we do it because we feel it's necessary, one, to point out how ridiculous and dangerous this is. And two, just we can't repeat this history. Like, World War II Germany's, the Nazis were probably one of the worst things that ever happened to this world, the entire world. And it could happen again if we don't get people to vote in the right direction in November.
What's really scary is we're at a point where, you know, our good friend Liz Mkhitaryan from Stop Moms for Liberty is always helping us see things from a teacher's angle and looking at things and how they relate. And, you know, we're getting close to forgetting the history when we're banning books and we're banning librarians and we're banning curriculum that makes little white people just feel so bad because their mommies and daddies can't teach them how to be humans and teach them that there are bad things in this world.
Right.
You know, I and most people are so ignorant of the wider history of this world. We think the Holocaust is the only Holocaust. People don't know what King Leopold did in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
All right. He killed like 20 million people, basically for fun, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but no one talks about it. Why? Because historians don't. People don't find a need for it because it's not convenient. While the Holocaust, World War II, we're not that far away because less people really know what went on than you think. So showing these videos are important because growing up on Long Island, I always knew that at one point, apparently a Nazi sub was spotted off the coast of Long Island. Okay, a U-boat. And I've heard other things like they may have landed at one point. So look, I don't know, and I believe it's true, but history is not far away from us. Terrible things are happening around us, and they've always happened. But if you forget it and you block who can see it, especially young people, they don't learn the lessons.
No,
so
we gotta take the blinders off.
You got to see what really happened. And those videos are terrifying. Seeing those people giving the Nazi salute to the flag, the American flag, the ones that MAGA publicans worship so much and cover their bodies with.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, those kids or those people in that video had kids, and then those kids had kids, and then those kids are the Trump supporters now.
And if there's no robust public education to continue to teach history, to build real citizens that know how to deal with the world, then it's very easy for people who want to control the population to do so, because then we're just trying to help. No, nothing like this ever
limiting
happened.
information is like one of the top things you have to do in order to be a successful dictatorship. You have to limit your population's intake of information. And that's what they want to do. They want to get rid of news networks like MSNBC, us, and we're not a news network, but people like us who think like us, who talk like us. They don't want, like, if you're not with Trump, if you're not 100% MAGA, you're against them. So even if you're not involved, guess what? They're going to force you to get involved, whether you like it or not. So make a choice to get involved now, as opposed to being involuntarily put into this mix later on when you have no idea what's going on.
Something that goes into that I actually thought about today. I came across a post where someone showed MAGA hats, but instead of MAGA, it was Make America Pray Again.
Oh, God, not this.
I'm not going to go as full into that as I'd love to, although it is one of my favorite topics. But the importance of what this person posted was, excuse me, they're going to make us pray. Let me tell you something.
That's a good point.
If the Christian nationalists, if Mike Johnson, the current Speaker of their House, using a Donald Trump as a tool, and all the Heritage Foundation and PragerU and all these, malicious bad actors trying to bring about Christian nationalism, Christian fascism to America, the way it almost did in that video in 39, okay?
Yeah.
Those people want to win. We have to talk about it. We have to keep going, and they're not going away. We have to let everyone know what they're trying to do. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, we literally, the only way to get rid of them is to vote them into irrelevance. It's our only option. So, all right, I'll add on a positive note. So yesterday we showed you, or actually on Sunday, I think we showed you what Congress had scheduled for yesterday. Washer, dryer hearings. They're having hearings on air conditionings and other appliances. While they were doing that, Joe Biden is trying to enact one of the biggest gun safety laws ever written. Merrick Garland,
they're against.
About it. We have the announcement. So Joe Biden's trying to make the world safer, and MAGA is trying to make sure you can keep your gas stoves. Like, seriously, the priorities of these people is so
that no one's trying to take away, by the way.
Right, that nobody's trying to take away. Right, they're making up their own conspiracies, and they're getting scared about it, and then having hearings about their conspiracies they made up.
They're passing anti-chemtrail laws. Chemtrails aren't a thing. They don't exist.
I saw that. God damn it.
They might as well pass legislation to check to see if the moon has gone stale because it's made of cheese.
This is where we're at, dystopian reality. But here's Merrick Garland, and then we'll close out for the night.
Gun violence has devastated families across the country. For many, it has meant the loss of a parent, a child, a student, a fellow officer, or a friend. And for their communities, it has meant persistent grief and lasting fear. That is why the Justice Department is bringing every available resource and every authority we have to the fight against gun violence. Every day, FBI, DEA, and ATF agents and Deputy U.S. Marshals put their lives on the line to combat gun violence and bring to justice those responsible for it. Recently, ATF found that the flood of illegal guns into our communities is increasingly driven by individuals who sell guns without a license and who do not conduct background checks.
Gun shows are the biggest loophole in the United States when it comes to buying and selling guns, and that's what they're trying to crunch down on. I'm in Pennsylvania. We have gun shows like every other week here, and I'm in the country of Pennsylvania. You'll see giant billboards for them. Gun shows, be there. You know what I mean? We're going to have, I sent you a picture. We have a gun store in my area.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's fucking 35,000 square feet. 35,000 square feet. You should see the size of this building, and it's full of guns.
My God.
So I know where I'm going. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going right to that gun store and figuring out a way in, because all I need to do is figure out how to get into one corner and I'm good. So, like I said, while MAGA's trying to make sure your dishwashers and dryers are safe, Joe Biden's trying to actually make the country safer. I think.
Andy worked out a deal with Mike Johnson, an aid package.
Oh, that's right.
Right, which now MAGA is trying to get him to resign. And Joe Biden is continuing to show the benefits of the CHIPS Act. I believe, I forgot what company it is now going to be getting like $20 billion to like bring manufacturing back to the United States. He made sure more student loan debt was forgiven.
Yeah, what are we
I understand if you
here?
don't like him as a person, but if you don't look at what he's done objectively and understand, put aside that Donald Trump represents fascism in the end of America. If you just don't look at what Joe Biden has done and go, look, nothing's perfect. Our lives are very difficult. We just came out of a totally fucked up pandemic that Trump screwed into oblivion. Okay, we're actually doing quite amazing. I saw something that we're growing the second or the first fastest in the G7. Our economy is bouncing back like better than before. I understand everyone's bills are insane, but trust me when I tell you, Joe Biden isn't setting the price of eggs and gas.
Right.
Who is? So again, if you separate that, vote accordingly.
Right. And I also want people to realize how much Joe Biden has accomplished in his short amount of time in office, despite, for the second half of it, having the most useless Congress in United States history. And he's still able to accomplish all these amazing things. I think that's pretty fantastic. And it shows you that he's not wrapped up in all the bullshit. He's focused on trying to make the country better. And I think I think he will make the country better. And if we elect Trump, everything we know, our entire way of life will be over. Everything we know will be changed. Everything. So I'm moving to Canada if that happens. Luckily for us, our neighboring country has been deemed the safest country in the world. So yeah, not far away. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Donald Trump said that Biden's going to change the name of Pennsylvania.
Come on.
You're not going to have a state anymore, Trump says.
Woke Tifa-vania? I don't know.
Like, what did we go? What was one? Woke-Sylvania. What was the other one we came up with? Pronounce-Sylvania.
That's all I remember.
All right, that's all we have for tonight's show, guys. Thanks for joining. We had a lot of people on tonight. We really appreciate your support. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. It's the only way we're going to grow. We can't grow without your help. We're not asking you for money. All we're asking is for a couple clicks. You can do that for us, I think. That's fair. So other than that, Sunday, we're going to have our special talking about what is going on with abortion in this country. The entire episode is going to be about pretty much from the overturning of Roe v. Wade until now. And the future, what the future is going to look like if this continues.
We're at a divergent point, so it could get ugly.
Yeah, we're definitely at a tipping point. I believe 21 states so far have taken like very extreme measures against abortion since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So we have a lot to talk about. And then on our future episodes, we're going to have like critical race theory episode, which I'm extremely excited to talk about because I personally love critical race theory. Once I started researching it, I absolutely
it's scary.
I think it's amazing. I think it should be taught in high schools. I do.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think it should be taught early.
I think it has to be refined as a set of legal theories.
Yes.
And put into perspective in a curriculum that explains the racial disparities in our country's core.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. And then we're also going to have an episode where we have some Gen Z voters and future voters that are going to talk about
activists, if you will.
Well, that's right. Political activists. So I'm really excited. So yeah, we'll be back on Sunday, 2 p.m. live like always. And then if you have any questions for us, hit us up on our email, hit us up in the chat. Hit us up in the DMs, whatever. We're always here to talk to everybody. And we're also watching. We're always watching. We're always looking for people to want to guest on the show too. If you feel you want your voice to be heard as well. If you have an opinion you want to share that you feel very strongly about, obviously it's kind of got to align with the views of our show. We don't want some crazy MAGA person on here spewing nonsense.
Do we?
However, what are you gonna say? Yeah, right.
Do we?
That could get ugly. I get angry really quick.
Yeah, I would not be able to control myself.
Right? So, all right, we're out of here, guys. Thanks for showing up tonight. We really appreciate you. And like always, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
This is one of our willow boxes. This is just filled with some of the things that we had started gathering for her while I was pregnant.
Yep.
There's her little baby book. was the outfit that she was gonna maybe wear home from the hospital. All of these. This is the blanket that she was in. And these are her little footprints.
It's okay.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.